Hi guys, I Aziz welcome you to CoedMaster, and in this video I am going to talk about cohesion. Cohesion is one of the core principles of object-oriented programming. In this video I will explain what is cohesion, what are the different advantages of cohesion, and how can we design highly cohesive classes. So guys, if you are willing to learn what is cohesion, then this video is for you. So please watch this video till the end. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Alright guys, let's begin this video. So let's begin this video with the very first question, that what is the meaning of this term cohesion? Well, cohesion is a process of sticking something together very tightly. Well, that is good, but what is the meaning of cohesion in context to object-oriented programming? So let's see. So first of all, cohesion is a concept of object-oriented programming. Now, the term cohesion is used to indicate the degree to which a class has single and well-focused responsibility. So guys, basically cohesion is a term that tells us that the class that we have designed has a single and well-focused responsibility or not. Now, what does it mean by well-focused responsibility? It simply means, let's say for example, if we have one class and we have 10 methods inside of that class, and obviously all the 10 methods are serving different responsibility. So according to cohesion, a class is cohesive if it has a well-defined methods inside of it, and all of that method should be related, which means all of that methods have single and well-focused responsibility. So if it is not clear to you, then don't worry, it will be clear by the end of this video. Now moving on. So the concept of cohesion is closely related to single responsibility principle, which states a class should only have one responsibility. So guys, in case you don't know, there are different design principles that guide us in how to design highly cohesive classes. And single responsibility principle is one of those principles, which states that a class should have only one responsibility. Okay, now moving on. Cohesive is also a measure of how the method of class or a module are meaningfully and strongly related to each other, and how focused they are in providing a single and well-defined purpose to the system. So guys, using cohesive property or cohesive principle, we can measure that how the methods of classes are meaningfully and strongly related to each other. And we can also measure that how focused all the methods of class are, so that it can provide a single and well-defined purpose to the entire system. I know all of this definition sounds a bit difficult to you. Don't worry, I will explain you in a very simple way using some real-world example. Okay? So basically, long story short, cohesion is a principle that suggests us to design a class in such a way that it has single and well-defined purpose. So the more focused a class is, the more cohesiveness of that class will be. But the question over here is, why we need even more cohesive class? What is the advantage? What is the disadvantage of designing a low cohesive class? So let's understand this concept with this example. So let's say we have a class student, and there are 4 responsibilities of this class. Number 1, the student class manages itself. Number 2 responsibility is student class is calculating average grade of a student. Number 3 responsibility is this class is responsible for printing transcript for the student. And number 4 responsibility is the student class is also responsible for sending email notification. Now if you closely look at this class has total 4 responsibilities. That is why this class is a low cohesive class. And as we have discussed in the previous definitions, that the class always have single and well-defined purpose. But here you can see that a class does not have single and well-defined purpose. All the functionalities are unrelated to each other, right? Calculating average grade is not related to print script. Print script is not related to send email notification. All of these features are unrelated to each other, right? And because of these, the class is not serving any single purpose. Now let me show you what are the disadvantages of designing low cohesive classes like this. Now the first advantage of designing low cohesive classes First of all, the code is difficult to understand, right? Let's say for example this class is 20 methods and all the methods are serving different purpose. Then obviously it will become difficult to understand that class, as that class has a lot of methods, right? Now the second disadvantage is it can lead to confusion and make it challenging to modify the code. And this is also true. If this class has a lot of method, then it becomes confusing for a lot of developers. Or let's say if new developer joins your team, then it becomes difficult for that developer to understand this class first and then decide what to change and what to not. So modification of code becomes challenging in this scenario. Now the third disadvantage is if we add new field, it may affect or break the code. And it is also true. Let's say tomorrow I want to add one new field to this class student. Now it may possible that it may break the calculation of the average grade method. It may possible that it may break print transcript method, and it may also possible that the new change that I have introduced may break the functionality of send email notification. We are not sure about it. Whenever we make any change, it is possible there are high chances of breaking the code in other methods, right? So this is the disadvantage of having low cohesive class. In fact, this is a fact that if a class has multiple reasons to change, then it has multiple reasons to break as well. And it is so obvious. Because this class has multiple responsibilities, it has multiple reasons to break, right? So if I make any change in print transcript method, it may possible that it may break the calculate average grade method. We don't know. Yeah, we are not sure about it. So let's move on to the next disadvantage. And the next disadvantage is if the class is low cohesive, then it is difficult to maintain and it is more likely to change frequently, right? And why is it so? Because if I want to change the print method, then also a student class is changing, okay? If I want to change some implementation of email notification, then also a student class is changing, okay? If I want to change something in the implementation of average grade method, then also a student class is changing. So which means that it is difficult. First of all, it is difficult to maintain if it has so many responsibilities, and it is more likely to change frequently. And the last disadvantage of low cohesive class is if the class is low cohesive, then it is less likely to be reused. And it is also correct. Why is it so? Let's say I want to use this student class somewhere else. Then I cannot reuse this class. Why? Because this class contains calculate average grade, that is of no use. It contains print transcript method, that is also of no use. And it also contains send email notification, that is also of no use. So we don't need these three methods, right? We only need student class. But if we reuse this class, we get this method by default, because this is an unrelated method that is present in this class. So that is why it is difficult to reuse this class, and it is almost not possible to reuse class. So these are the disadvantage of having a low cohesive class. Now the question over here is how to make it high cohesive. So the answer is pretty simple. Divide the responsibility into different classes, right? By keeping focused and well-defined methods into each class. So this is the only solution. And here we are simply using one principle, and that principle is single responsibility principle. So using single responsibility principle, we are dividing the responsibility into different classes by keeping focused and well-defined methods into each classes. Now let me take you to my IDE and show you how can we make this class highly cohesive. Now we are on the IDE. So here is a student class, and this student class has sub fields like ID, name, mobile, email, address and grades. So here is a constructor to construct this object, and then we have all the getter and setter method to get and set all the properties. Now if you closely observe this class, you will find that we don't have any other method other than setter and getter methods, which means this class is only focusing on one functionality, and that is to maintain the student. So we can say that it has single and well-defined responsibility. Now let's move on to next class, and the name of this class is grade calculator. Now previously this method exists in the student class itself, But now we have moved this method into a separate class, and the name of that class is grade calculator. And inside of this class we have one method, calculate average. Now the responsibility of this class is just to calculate average, that's it. So we can say that this class also has single and well-defined responsibility, and the responsibility is just to calculate average. So this method takes an instance of student and returns the average grade of the student, as simple as that. Now let's move on to the next class, that is print transcript. Now this class has one method, print, and this print method takes student instance. Now before we used to have this responsibility into student class only. So we have removed this responsibility from student class and put it in a separate class. Now the responsibility of this class is only to print the transcript of a student, as simple as that. So we can say that this class has also single and well-defined responsibility, and the responsibility is just to print the transcript of the student, as simple as that. Now let's move on to the next class, that is email notifier. So before it used to exist in the student class, but we have removed this responsibility from the student class and put it in a separate class, and the name of that class is email notifier. And this class has one method, send email, and this email method takes subject as argument, body as argument, and the student as argument. Now what is the responsibility of this class? This class is responsible for sending email notification, that's it, nothing more than sending emails. So we can say that this class has single and well-defined responsibility. So guys, this is how we have break all the responsibility of student class and put it inside a separate class, that are grade calculator for calculating a grade, print transcript for printing the transcript of a student, and email notifier to send email notification to a student. Now the question over here is, how is it solving all the problems that we had before? So first of all, if you look at these classes, it is very easy to understand. You can easily understand what the student class is doing, what grade calculator is doing, what print transcript is doing, and what email notifier is doing. This is the first advantage we get. Second thing, it is very easy to modify the code, right? We no more have any confusion using these classes. So if you want to make any change in a student, I can directly make change in a student. If I want to make any change in calculate average method, I can make any change here directly without any confusion. If I want to change anything in a print script method, I can make a change here directly. And if I want to make any change in the process of email notification, I can make change here directly. So this was the second advantage we get. Now the next advantage we get is, if the classes has single and well-defined responsibility, it is less likely to change. Why? Because if I want to change the logic of calculate average method, then I have to only change logic here. I don't have to touch student class or print transcript or email notifier class, right? But before, when we were changing the logic of calculator average class, we had to change the student class also, right? But this is not the case anymore, right? Similarly, if I want to change anything in the email notifier class, I don't have to touch print transcript class or grade transcript class or student class, right? So the last advantage of designing a highly cohesive class is, if the class is highly cohesive, then it is more likely to be reused. So if you look at the student class, this class has only one responsibility, and that is to maintain a student. So we can use this class anywhere we want without any confusion or without any problem, right? Similarly, if we want to use a grade calculator class, as it has only one single responsibility, we can use this class anywhere. And similar with print transcript and the email notifier. So guys, these are the advantage we get when we design highly cohesive class. So by now, I hope the concept of cohesive is clear to you. So the term cohesive defines a class should have single and well-focused responsibility, and that is the main purpose of cohesion. And by breaking the responsibilities into different classes, we can design highly cohesive class that is less prone to error, easy to maintain, easy to understand, and more likely to reuse. And last thing, it is less likely to be changed. So guys, this is all from my side for this video. If you learned something valuable from this video, then hit the like button in order to make YouTube algorithm happy. Please subscribe to this channel and don't forget to click the bell icon so my friend you never miss any upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.